Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a free pattern to show you. Now who does not like a free pattern? And I have had this pattern in my files for ages and I really don't know why I hadn't made it before. This is a pattern by Seamwork. I believe it's the only free pattern they have available on the website and it's called the York top. Now, I think when I downloaded it, I always assumed this pattern was for a knit, and that's why I hadn't paid much attention to it because I'm always drawn more to woven patterns. Looking around the other day, I noted it's not for a knit, it's for a woven. Silly. So I took a closer look at it and decided to give it a go and see if it's something I would wear and it would be a good pattern for me to recommend. So I'm gonna put a picture here from the website. So this pattern features side bust darts, 3/4 length sleeves with a little split cuff detail that I think is really nice. It's got a roundish neckline that is finished with biased binding and a seam at the back with like a keyhole opening, and the ties continue towards the back where you do a little knot. So it's a very simple sort of pattern. I always knew I wanted to do some modifications to it, like, I always lower the bust dart, and you've seen me do that on several patterns. Usually around 2 centimeters to 1 inch is what I lower on most patterns because my apex is lower than the typical pattern drafting. And also I thought this was a good pattern to add some back darts to, back waist darts, fisheye darts. So I have done that, but that is not included in this video. I'm going to include that in another one that will be purely how to and how to do it 2 ways. I didn't want to make this one too long. And that other one can be useful as a reference for any pattern, not just for this one. This pattern is super simple. There's only 4 pattern pieces and I'm going to show them to you here. One front that's cut on the fold, one back that's cut, with a seam at the back, a sleeve piece and a cuff piece. So only 4 pieces, super easy to cut out and everything like that. Recommended a light to medium weight wovens. I chose a polyester. It's not a good fabric. It was quite inexpensive here in one of the shops. Just the colors and the print drew my attention. It's sheer polyester. Not that hard to work with like the chiffons I've used in the past, so I don't really know what it is. I know it's a lot of polyester in there. Now for the sizing, it goes from a size 0 to size 26, from a bust of 33 inches to 54 inches, hips of 35 to 56 inches, and there is some positive ease. It's a loose fitting top, about 3 inches of ease around the bust and 9 inches of ease around the waist. I chose a size 12 and then I blended to a size 14 at the hips just to give me space. I know I usually don't do that, thinking it'll be fine, and then I end up adding side vents on the side, so I decided to just play it safe. I have a video that I have compiled of some footage where I'm showing you my layout. The pattern calls for 1.7 meters for my size. And I made it in 112 centimeters. So I basically saved 60 centimeters. I don't really imagine how you can place your pattern pieces in a different way to use up so much fabric. I really don't know. But, let's hop in to see my layout, part of the construction, and especially how I put on the cuffs. I think it's the most important detail of the top because it is really a simple top, So let's hop into that. This is my layout. That is the selvage there, that is the fold. I have placed everything. There are the cuffs, the sleeve. Now I've used 1 and 12 centimeters. The pattern calls for 1.70 meters and that makes no sense. So far the York top is almost done. It's very easy to put together. There are the side bust darts there. I have already tried it on and the modification I made to the bust dart is perfect for me. I've already bound the neckline. I did drop the neckline 1 inch, so just with a curved ruler. I kept the same shape, I just dropped it 1 inch because personal preference. This blouse has you set the sleeves in flat, and that is something I will never do for a knit or a woven. I like setting my sleeves in so they aren't attached yet. That's ready to be put in there. I'm going to turn it around so you can see the back. The back has a center seam, and at the top it's open there for like a little slit there. The instructions have you top stitching that. I'm not going to do that. I don't care to do that on this type of fabric. These little ties come out from the neckline there, and you tie it up, and that's how, you know. This is just for show, really. Your head fits in perfectly. Like, if you don't want to do that, you can totally skip that and just even skip the back seam and just do your neckline, you know, round, you know, without the little slit, you know. Here are the fisheye darts I added, and they fit super good. I'm super happy with the fit with this. These sleeves have a little cuff at the bottom. As you can see there, I'm going to assemble the cuff and sew it onto the bottom of the sleeve. So I have that already, and then I'm gonna go and set in the sleeves. Here are the two cuffs. I folded them right sides together, and I have to sew the ends there with the 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then flip them around. I have sewn each cuff on both extremes. You can see they're just folded, you know, in the middle and sewn, and I'm flipping them around. I'm not clipping corners. This fabric is not sturdy enough for that. And now I'm going to top stitch. I always use my 1/4 inch foot because it helps me create straight lines when I'm sewing. The look of my sewing has looked much more professional since I've started using my 1/4 inch foot. So I'm doing that, just sewing it around to keep it nice and stable. And here you can see them both already sewn and ready to be attached to the bottom of the sleeve. Now here is the sleeve, that is the seam, and I've marked with a pin the middle, and that is where the cuff is going to start. So I'm going to start pinning on that spot right there and go all the way around and meet on the other side. Now take your time. As I was pinning, I was doubting if the cuffs were going to meet and be the same size as the bottom of the sleeve, because sometimes patterns don't match like that, but look how exactly it matches there. It matches perfectly. So I'm going to use some tools to keep that there. This is where the cuff meets there in the middle. So I just got my seam ripper to keep the fabric nice and flat and not moving around, because I really want that to be together. Once I've passed that, then I can just go around and sew quickly with the 1/2 inch seam allowance, and that is uniting the cuff onto the bottom of the sleeve. This is very easy to do, and now that it's attached, I have to overlock it and then fold this seam upwards and top stitch again. This is going to help this lay flat. There it's magically overlocked already. I actually have brown overlocker thread, so I did change that. There you can see the seam upwards, and now with my 1/4 inch foot again, I am top stitching around that cuff. I'm really liking how this is looking. It's looking nice and sharp. I haven't pressed anything, and there you can see how it looks. Super nice. Now you can do this sort of cuff on any sleeve that you want. It can be done on any, and I'm really liking how this looks. Okay, so here it is finished. What drew me to this fabric was the print. As always, I walk into a shop and from the corner of my eye I see something that appeals to me, and the tones of tan, brown and beige sort of drew me in. I noticed now that this is like a mix of animal prints everywhere. I really did not know that when I bought it. It is sort of animal print, but not in your face sort of thing. I do have shoes and handbags that are like these colors and not many things to go with them, so I'm trying to incorporate that. Look, I'm actually wearing snake print today. You know, snake print is one of the prints I will consider. It's not an animal, by the way. It's a reptile. And here at the back, you can see that little keyhole opening there. I did not top stitch it. This fabric is not for top stitching like that. I think it doesn't really need it. And there's, you can see the little ties made out of bias binding. The side bust darts are there where you can't really see. I mean, this sort of print is perfect for a pattern like this that doesn't have too many details, you know. The back seam there, if you want to opt out of the back seam, and remove that seam allowance and put it on the fold and just do your neckline round, it'll work. Your head will fit in there. My fisheye darts are there for shaping, and the little cuff detail that I love, that little split there, super nice. Now the sleeve was very easy to set in, it fit in perfect, no problems there. You know, you have to gather a bit and ease it in, but very easy to do, no weird, you know, like some sleeve caps are very high and have too much ease. That's not the case with this one, and that was fairly easy. I'm going to pop it on so you can see now. Okay, here it is. You can see the neckline is slightly higher than I would wear it, but because it's so wide to the side, I think it's still really flattering because it still shows quite a bit of like skin around here. And for someone with a larger bust, I think that's more flattering than to have like a really closed high neckline. I still lowered it by an inch, so imagine if I hadn't, it would be hitting the collarbones, and that is super uncomfortable for me. So yeah, you can see the sleeve, the shoulder fit is really good there. It's right at the shoulder. You know, I can still move. And there's the side bust out there, right at the apex where I want it to be. You can see the shaping there for the back. It goes in and out, not tremendously, but there is some shaping there, or else it would just be a box hanging from me. There still is a lot of ease around the waist and around the hips, and that's super comfortable. Let me see, can I show you the back? There is a little tie thingy there, the little keyhole, if you can see that. I'm very happy with it. I think I can make this again in prints that can just show off themselves. Very simple, very easy to sew, and this cuff detail is everything, really. I really like that cuff detail. I'm getting ready for May and June. Last year, the colder months hit me and I had nothing to wear but like little cami tops and tank tops. So, you know, something with a little sleeve, although it won't get that cold, is gonna provide some warmth for me. So I'm getting ready for that. Anyway, I hope you give this pattern a go. It's free, it fits. It's got lovely details. The diagrams are very easy to follow. About the order of events, I always do it different. I don't really like putting sleeves in on the flat ever, not even for knits, because I like to try them on before I sew them on. And when you put them on the flat, you can't really try them on until the thing is done. So I do that for t-shirts, knits, sweaters, blouses, anything will always have the sleeve inserted the traditional way. And I like to have the cuff on it before I do that, because it makes more sense, you know. You don't want to be fiddling with a cuff and have a whole body of a blouse attached to it, but that's just me. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on Friday with another vlog. Bye and happy sewing!